Listen, the highest level we've seen in the stock since February, I think it closed north of 28. I just read something where they called it the single best data analytics play out there. I happen to agree with that. People will say valuation is expensive and they're too levered to the government, which I also agree, but they will have downstream offerings at a lesser price, which will help margins, which, by the way, were great last quarter. I think Palantir will continue to go higher. I can't tell you if you should add more, but I don't think you should be selling.
Welcome back. Today was an absolutely incredible day for Palantir stock. The stock literally went up $1.50, up almost 6% on the day. Some incredible movement early on, a little bit of selling off and strength in the latter half of the day, which was really amazing to see. Palantir stock broke through 27 the other day, 28 today, and really already into the upper 28s. A clear breakout, as you'll see if you look at the 6-month chart. The high again was high 27s, sell off before earnings pop. We're back up there. Very exciting to see. I'm not into the technicals. I don't care about those, but just really awesome to be a part and a shareholder in a company that is doing something really great for the world, an American business. So great day to be a shareholder, great day to be someone invested, making money on the stock, moving upwards, but also just to reflect on the progress of this company. And there's so much we're going to dive into today. But of course, a big congratulations to the employees and the people at Palantir making this possible. So you'll see right here as my cursor is hovered, Palantir stock has not been this high since February. Will we see the $30 range soon? Is this part of a much bigger breakout? It is yet to be seen, but I did want to bring that to your attention. Some incredible volume in the last few days. Palantir stock has been among a ticker on Wall Street Bets, of course, always has been, but that's been picking up a lot again recently. And it's just going to be really exciting to watch. Again, today was very exciting to watch. The stock just really outperforming the entire market and doing very well. So now for the video today, what I want to do is take a look at, this was Palantir's COO, Sankar, who I spoke to. Now, he was on CNBC's Closing Bell again on CNBC, so I do want to react to that. I have not yet watched this, so you will be watching it with me for the first time if you have not already, or hearing my analysis and my pausing along the way.
Richard, I'll start with you, if I may, in terms of exactly, just very quickly, what Wejo does in terms of collecting a lot of data from cars. Is it just from EVs or from all cars? And what type of data points are you collecting?
No, so we work with 17 auto manufacturers globally. We have over 11 million live cars on platform. We see 7% of all vehicles in New York. And we get a vast array of data from these vehicles. We've actually processed over 400 billion miles of data, which is 20 times more than Tesla. And we get EV data, we get LiDAR data where appropriate, we get entertainment data, we sometimes get location data, we get powertrain data. We get a whole array of data from over these 11 million vehicles, and we're scaling substantially.
Okay, so I'm just going to cut them off right there. I wanted to, of course, circle back on this. Wejo and Palantir have a partnership that they have put out. They have made public. We heard about this before, but I love getting this context. Wejo, of course, a SPAC that Palantir is invested in and partnered with, and now we're hearing more about that. We heard the Wejo CEO here comparing their data to that which Tesla generates. Of course, there are rumors, mainly by me and a few others in the community, that Palantir could be working with Tesla. This kind of puts a damper on that. We know that Wejo is not working with Tesla, just to put that out there. But also, Wejo is a very interesting company. It's very interesting what they're doing. Their approach is obviously to leverage big data, and Palantir is a natural partner for that. So I'm not sure if this sort of news has driven the stock at all, especially earlier today. I do not believe so, but has certainly added to some of the excitement more recently. Maybe some people looking at this partnership in a video I'll show you a little later in this video. This platform that Palantir has made really has big implications for the future and all these other businesses that can use it. Maybe I should be invested in this company. So let's continue with the interview here.
Does every driver or car owner know that you're getting that data, do you think? Or is this something that might well be a box they didn't quite realize they'd checked at a point of purchase somewhere down the line?
No, there's a clear consent process. I set up Wejo 7 years ago with this idea of data for good, that there had to be a clear consent process. So we have access to over 50 million vehicles, and 11 million vehicles drivers have given consent. So we have a very clear consent process, and we have a very clear approach as to how that data is used. Sometimes that data is used for meta trends, where we advise cities on solar emissions. in other markets, the driver's given a clear consent, for example, to reduce their insurance premium, but there's a very clear consent process.
Shyam, why is it important for Palantir to partner with Wejo? What exactly are you hoping to offer to the market for autonomous vehicles?
Yes, thank you for having me. So this is exactly in line with our mission as a company of working on the hardest problems. We're talking about tackling electrification, not only on the consumer side, but of the supply chain, of the automotive ecosystem, helping with supply chains, helping drive autonomy. And so for us, we see this immense opportunity for Foundry to help Wejo dream bigger about mobility, capitalizing on the 15 years of R&D that we've done building the Foundry platform, and using that to enable them to bring more products to market more quickly to transform these areas.
Some very key points there by Shyam. We've heard this sort of narrative before about Palantir doing the investing in their platform, in the R&D to get Foundry set up, have it become what it is today so that enterprises do not need to do that own work on their own, and Palantir's sort of incremental investments and iterations of their own platform and the flywheel along with the data, all of the iterations on top of the platform, as I said, with Apollo really is a competitive advantage. So unless you were doing something so technical and so far removed from what Palantir is trying to make with the modern operating system for the enterprise, then it would just make sense to ultimately just use Palantir and license Foundry pretty much. So let's hear what else they have to say.
Say Palantir has brought you that you weren't able to do before.
So we're backed by General Motors and Magna as examples of OEMs and tier ones, and we want to build a complete data ecosystem. What Palantir does is enable us to speed that process up. You know, we've got over 11 million cars talking to us in real time. Our forecast to have over 30 million cars live on platform next year. We needed a partner like Palantir, where we've already built our first product with them, and we built it within weeks from having the idea to actually going to full execution. So Palantir's become our perfect partner.
And that's really great to hear. And also, of course, I'm just reacting to this live. As I said, I've not seen this before, but that really is a key insight. Can Palantir be the perfect partner for every business? They're the ones that are going to come in, help sort all of this data, help generate insights. Why couldn't they be the perfect partner for every single business? Wejo is not a special business that only works with Palantir. They hadn't worked with Palantir before, and all of a sudden they have this strategic partnership. What if Palantir became the number one, number two, number three most strategic partner for every business, every big business, every medium business? What would happen if that were true?
Well, Shyam, of course, this is CNBC, so we're going to want to know what it's worth to investors. Wolf was talking about the share price of Palantir and how you've seen a nice run here this weekend and even just today, perhaps on the news of this partnership. So how valuable is this for Palantir?
We think this is very valuable because it's indicative of a broader opportunity, a fantastic opportunity to invest in highly ambitious companies and to help these companies, whether they're building flying cars like Lilium or they're transforming pharma like Roivant or they're transforming the automotive ecosystem like Wejo. We're helping them shave years and potentially hundreds of millions of dollars off of their R&D roadmaps, helping them execute the central ambition of their business much more quickly.
What's the decision process internally at Palantir, Shyam, as to whether you actually take a stake in one of your clients versus just take royalty, as in, take a fee for the services you offer them?
This will be very interesting to see how he responds to this, because I talked about this with Sachin, of course, if you watched our interview together. But there's this thesis that Palantir is buying revenue, that they're investing in companies and the reason for that is pretty much so that they have someone to generate revenue from their service, which is obviously a bearish argument and not something I agree with. So let's hear how Shyam actually responds to this.
Yeah, it's a great question. Of course, we have a rigorous investment process and an investment committee. And apart from that, though, the core thesis is, can our product meaningfully transform this business? Can it shave years off of the R&D roadmap? What is the theory of collaboration? How are we leveraging our experience across 40 different industries to bring new products to market more quickly? In the case of Wejo, I would say we were even talking with a major low-carbon energy provider and seeing how this Wejo's data asset and insights around emissions and consumer safety and traffic patterns, congestion, can help cities reduce their own emission footprint, understand where to put charging stations. And so I think there is a huge play of how we can help accelerate this business. And this is what we're seeing as we think about investing in companies.
He really is so great with words, and it was awesome to hear his insights on that, about the collaboration. It's really about the collaboration for these partnerships. Well, of course, they're in it for the money, and they're not just in it for whatever the business is. It really needs to go both ways, a bilateral partnership, if you will. If you want me to do more stuff like this in the future, please let me know. But in tandem with that, Wejo actually released a video. I'm sure Palantir made it, but it was on Wejo's YouTube channel, which I will play now, in a moment, I should say. One more thing I wanted to mention is that in the last couple of days, we've had two announcements, or maybe it was the last few days, I'm not keeping track, but we had the marketing, of course. We had some new marketing with Palantir actually putting out a video, and now we have this back-to-back thing with Wejo. So it's making me wonder, that's an ad, sorry, why they are releasing two announcements back-to-back. It makes me think something bigger is coming if they're rushing to put both of these out in a relatively short time frame. So of course, that's just my opinion. I think there may be a bigger announcement coming, or I could just be way off the mark on that. Of course, I want you to do your own thinking, your own research as to whether you believe that to be true. I don't care if you buy or sell the stock. I'm just trying to give you information on Palantir. And very last thing, if you saw Tom Nash's video, it really was so true about how so many people are trying to take advantage of investors. It's really not what this channel is about. I couldn't care less if you buy or sell Palantir, and I'm just trying to provide a service for you. Relative highs in the period and want to take some off the table, that is totally fine with me. It's better to be selling on days like these than selling on days where Palantir was down in the 16s, for instance. But if you want to just be totally long-term and not touch it, that is probably the easier option. So I'm going to attach the Wejo official Palantir partnership video. If you've already seen this, you can drop off. If you want to see it again, here it is. Until next time.
Wejo's partnership with Palantir is helping us accelerate the invaluable connected vehicle data insights we can give.
Wejo is a leader in the fast-growing landscape of connected vehicle data. Every day, Wejo collects more than 16 billion data points and analyzes 48 billion journeys in near real time across a network of 11 million live vehicles. To date, Wejo has ingested more than 10 trillion data points from connected vehicles. But how does Wejo leverage all this data? A new partnership with Palantir is unlocking the potential of a connected auto industry and defining the future of mobility.
The data we manage is significant in volume and complex in nature. We saw how Palantir were approaching their technology, building platforms for users solving hard problems, and there was a clear fit between us.
We're really excited to be collaborating with partners that, one, want to move fast, and two, have ambition to redefine the future. This partnership, Wejo's data asset technology and the Foundry platform, are going to enable them to realize the potential of Wejo to reduce emissions, reduce congestion, increase safety on roads, and really revolutionize the mobility industry. And they're able to do that while imposing very rigorous controls to protect the underlying security of that data.
Data security is at the heart of everything we do. It is the center of our thinking. Wejo combines strong data governance with leading-edge security toolsets. This gives us the insight and level of detail needed to ensure that all the data that touches Wejo is held to the highest industry standards. When we say data for good, we mean it. That's one of the reasons why Wejo have chosen to partner with Palantir.
Wejo has built an incredible corpus of their own technology in the Adept platform.
With Wejo Adept, what you get is a unique level of scale, complexity, and richness of data that is unparalleled across the automotive industry. With Palantir Foundry, you get exceptional data management with analytics and AI model development, and the operational applications which power decision-making. Combined, these two technologies deliver business value for participants via low-code and no-code application development.
Adept provides Wejo with the ability to ingest and organize huge volumes of data. The data is placed into a common data model. This enables Wejo to standardize connected vehicle data.
Wejo want to support OEMs to use data for good across their whole ecosystem, which is why the partnership with Palantir using Foundry will enable our OEM partners to efficiently merge in other data sets, such as production data, servicing data, or ADAS and vehicle testing data, to drive greater intelligence together.
There are many analytics and software companies in the auto market, but the partnership between Palantir and Wejo has very meaningful real-world applications. Applications that will enable the creation of connected auto industry where participants can drive exponential value from the massive amounts of data they own.
Wejo's data has already reshaped the world by helping improve infrastructure, road worker safety, and aid drivers during accidents or times of extreme weather, and help in the development of new innovations.
The partnership between Wejo and Palantir is ultimately about delivering on the promise of connected vehicle data to improve the way that we live, work, and travel for the better.